Okay, ranking school grades, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm still in school, so anything bad that I say really gets the point across, and it's extra neat because I'm still in school, so I'll say what I want, even though I shouldn't, and I should save it for when I'm out of school. But yeah, anyway, I already have 12th grade down there in F tier because it's the only one I haven't experienced yet, but I'm just gonna take a wild guess that it's gonna be doo doo anyway. Preschool's in here. I did not do that, or at least I don't think I did. If I did, it was probably useless, but uh, anyway, starting from the very bottom, there's kindergarten, obviously, and just to start, I'll put it in B tier because I'm going to take a wild guess that everything between kindergarten and elementary school is going to be in the top three tiers, and everything afterwards will be in the bottom three tiers, maybe with an exception or two, because it's kind of just a gradual descent over the years anyway. Kindergarten's it's obviously the introduction to school itself. It's the first time you're really learning things and getting into that habit of being at school, but at that age you don't really think too much about it. Nothing's hard yet. It just kind of happens and it's a good time, but obviously it's not the best because you're not really functioning too well yet. You're not really retaining much. So I don't have that many memories of that year, so it can't really be too high. Definitely not S. I might move it up to A, but I'll see. Anyway, first grade, I'll put it in A for right now, because essentially, looking back on elementary school, I feel like it was kind of a peak, followed by a drop, followed by a peak. Like, elementary school is just surrounded by two high points, which would be first grade, obviously, to start, because that's when you're really getting your first experience of school, and it seems all happy-go-lucky and easy and simple and fun at first, and you've got all that fun stuff. It's where I met my first real friends. We did some pretty cool stuff or fun stuff back then. Really good memories. Probably the best year other than fifth grade for memories in school. And I'm just going to jump up real quick to fifth grade itself because that, I don't even have to think this over, was the greatest year of school for me, probably. The only thing that would make other years better than it would be all the ones below it because they were easier, obviously. And even though fifth grade, with how I was performing at the time, was a little tricky for me in some points I can recall, I guess I was kind of dumb. Um, as an experience, or, well, I guess I should say as an experience, obviously all grades of school are not good. It's not a fun experience, obviously. But from a school standpoint, knowing what school is, fifth grade was just the best because of all the fun I had in it. And even though it was obviously harder than first grade, I think it's still better than first grade. And I guess I should put first in S because, as I said a little bit ago, elementary school was kind of surrounded by two high points, being first to begin with, and then fifth in the end. And everything in between was still good, but not as good as first and fifth. Because fifth was when I felt like I was on top of the world, essentially. It was the only time I ever felt like that. I was, me and my one friend, or my one friend and I, we were pretty well known around the playground. And I remember feeling pretty cool that year, pretty accomplished with myself. But obviously that was just fun little things, so yeah, anyway. You have that in fifth grade, and then first grade is obviously it's that new beginning, but it's all fun and simple then, so that's why those two are just so good and easily the greatest grades of school. Anyway, then you have second. Second was, as far as I can remember, because this was like 10 years ago now, second was just first grade, part two. There was really not much of a difference, but obviously continuing on from first grade, it just felt, I guess, a little more tired out already, so not as good as first. So it gets an A tier. Third grade is probably the only elementary school grade I would put in B, maybe even in C actually, which is one of those exceptions I mentioned, simply because I don't know why. I don't know what happened in third grade, but I just don't remember it. I have like one memory from third grade. I might have gotten brainwashed or something, but I just don't remember third grade for some reason. I don't know what happened, and because of that, I'm just gonna assume it wasn't good. Maybe I tried to clear it out of my mind for whatever reason. But yeah, fourth grade was another iffy one. Like, of all of the years that I can actually remember from elementary school, fourth was probably not the best, definitely not the best. But I don't want to say it's down there of third grade simply because I don't really remember third grade for whatever reason. But it's not A or S either. Fourth grade is a B. I don't really remember it too much, just like third grade, but I know it was definitely better than third grade. And then that's the early years finished off, so that's where everything was really good. And of course, 12th is down there in F, but that's because it doesn't matter. I haven't been there yet. Anyway, then you get into middle school, which was just, to me, just a big fever dream. Like, every year for middle school for me was its own reason to be considered a fever dream. So, sixth grade, it was just kind of wacky, because, like, moving into middle school and out of elementary school, you don't have recess anymore. And it's like, okay, well, where's the fun in school now? And obviously, it gets a little trickier there because it's middle school and it gets more boring, obviously. So, definitely a C or a D. I'll just say C because why not? I mean, I really don't know what to say about it. Like, I kind of just pushed middle school out of my memory because it was just so weird. Anyway, seventh grade for me was interesting because I was in some strange program where we just went on a bunch of field trips, but it was also like what I'm pretty sure was harder work than what I would have been doing if I didn't take it. So I only did that thing because I thought it would have made the year more fun, but the work and just the way it was that were involved with that thing I did kind of outweighed the fun of the occasional field trip and stuff we did, so yeah, seventh grade was a little odd. So maybe C tier at highest. And then there's eighth grade. And honestly, even though I didn't like the actual part of eighth grade where I was in school, like it was definitely, as far as from a school standpoint goes, the worst year. Eighth grade was when some interesting thing happened that I don't think I'm allowed to say for some reason. I think you get like or you're supposed to censor. You know what? I really don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why I can't say it. It's not a curse word, but yeah, I guess that's a thing. Anyway, this happened when I was in eighth grade, so we got out of school pretty early and didn't have to go back. And for the rest of the year, the work was really easy. And even though most people disliked that quarantine, I found it to be very fun. Um, didn't have to go to school. School became easier. Didn't have to talk to people. All that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So eighth grade, because of that, because of the quarantine and those good times, I will say B tier. But that's the only thing for middle or high school that I would even consider putting that high. And then you have ninth grade. Yeah. It's the next new beginning following middle school, because it's where you start high school, but by this point, when I was in ninth grade, that's when I really started to just realize, okay, I see no purpose in this. I see no value to me in being at school. But obviously, I've felt that way since like sixth grade, probably. But anyway, ninth grade, yeah, it just happened. So C tier, sure. Then there was 10th grade, and 10th grade, it was like third grade. I don't know what happened. It just like happened in a millisecond and then it was gone. But what I do remember is that it wasn't the best, obviously. So I'm realizing that the D tier is kind of empty right now. So maybe D can have 10th in it. Ninth was definitely better though. And then maybe sixth in there too. But I guess sixth was better just because it was easier. Then 11th. Haven't really fully experienced it yet, but it's just feeling like 10th grade already. It's just feeling like a blur, even though it's current and ongoing. But everything, I guess, from middle school has just been a fever dream that I've just not really been bothering. It just doesn't seem interesting or valuable. But of course it is, just because you have to do it so you can do other stuff, but like, yikes, it just doesn't seem that way for me as a student, because like all the stuff I have to do and all the classes I have to take, it's like I don't care about that. I don't know anybody that applies that, but you get the point. Or a lot of people have been to school, and I don't know anyone that actually enjoys it anyway. 11th can also go in D. Now, I think this is already pretty well organized by tier. Um, 6th was definitely better than 10th, and 10th better than 11th, and then for C you have 9th, 3rd, 7th. I'm sure 3rd I definitely had a lot more fun than I did in 9th, but I just don't remember it. You know what? Assuming that, I'll put it above 9th. And then between 7th and 9th, I had the first half of 9th grade still still online from the you-know-what. So that I got to sleep in a lot of days and play that Mario 35 game that came out. That was pretty fun. Just like I played Animal Crossing New Horizons back in 8th grade when that came out, which was one of the reasons that whole quarantine quip was so fun for me. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. 9th grade, I mean, I really don't know where to put 9th and 7th grade. Obviously in C tier, but I don't know which one's better. Just pretend they're in the same spot or whatever. And then B, you have 8th, 4th, kindergarten. That seems about right. And then 2nd, 1st, and 5th in S and A. So yeah, you can pretty much see the linear path that shows the gradual descent that is school over the years. You have 1st in S, then you have 2nd in A, 3rd and 4th in C and B, and then middle school is just kind of jumbled in there in the lower tiers, and then high school fills in the very bottom. I wonder why that is. Anyway, yeah, I really had no idea what to make as a video this week, and I like to make videos every week just to see what happens, and it's also kind of fun sometimes. This was pretty interesting. I've never really considered ranking school grades, so yeah, if anyone sees this, thanks for watching, I guess. Yeah. Okay, that's that.